Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video here today. I hope you enjoy. Anyone who's watches West Ham related, preferably, but anyone who's a football fan and wants to watch this, please come along. And it is we'll be progressing the content in the next few weeks as we go along as well. So I hope you do enjoy, guys. We've got another show with Tom. Hope he's thanks for coming on again. I must say as well today. And you know, these shows are always good, and we always try to get the best and open up about more about West Ham on this. And look, I enjoy it. So got a few things to talk about today. It'll be a quick show, but if anyone who does come along by, you know, don't be afraid to put anything in the comments if you want as well. So quickly, we're going to start off with now. As I wasn't being able to watch the Brentford game live, I saw highlights here and there, and from what it looked like to be, we'll just quickly review a few minutes. It looked like. Were you surprised by Brentford's the way they approached the game? You know, I heard about the time wasting tactics and all that, but are you surprised how much the likes of Ogbonna and Zuma kind of got bullied by Brentford's attack, or did you feel like that was coming, especially with Europe a few days before?
I mean, I think it was definitely a surprise, but at the same time, Brentford are really, really aggressive going forward this season. They're a surprising team, and like you said, we've got Europe, so I expected, you know, maybe a bit of tiredness, but I don't think we were good enough. But at the same time, Brentford were excellent with the way they went forward.
Yeah, it looked like that. All right, they looked like they were pressing. It looked like they had a plan every time, and you know, people are saying about the time waste and all that, but I think overall they kind of worked for their game. Now, if I watched the full game, I have a different opinion on this and been very angry after it. But it's the fact that I feel like because I didn't see all of the game, I kind of can't say how much Brentford were good. But from what I've seen, I thought they had a game plan. They stuck to it. Say what you want about us, we couldn't match it. Europe was probably a bit of a factor during the week, but I think the fact that we rested a lot of players as well, maybe if you agree that the fact that maybe there shouldn't have been a need for fatigue along the squad. You know, there's a good few players still rested, and you know, we even took off like Antonio during the week as well. So I just think it was they came here and they just stunned us, and we didn't really know how to react to that. It was what you think the biggest positives and negatives coming out of that Brentford game is, you know, we got a goal back, but then we can see that late at the end. Do you feel like there's with the fact that we've only had one win at home this season, that was the Leicester game, do you see that as a worry, or do you feel that like it's just one of those coincidence things and, you know, we'll bounce back?
Well, I think it's a little bit early to say it's a worry, but I think if it continues, it's definitely going to be a worry. I mean, like you said, we got one back. So we've shown that we can score, but again, I think we're creating lots, but not finishing. We need to be finishing more. And defensively, I think if we can't, we've conceded a fair few goals this season, like especially recently. They need to switch on more.
Yeah, I think that is. I think, did you feel like that at the moment, we'll talk quickly a minute about the squad there, but with the partnership, you know, since Zuma came in with Ogbonna back there, do you think, especially how they played it in the last game, do you think that that's the partnership that you'd be looking to keep going with, or would you, you know, maybe bring Dawson back in or something like that, or do you feel like you need to stay with that same partnership?
Well, I think Zuma and Ogbonna individually are brilliant. Together, I've not seen enough of them to say, I don't like them. I think they've done well. But to be honest, I'd love to see Diop. He stepped up his game this season. I think heading towards January time, especially with Europe, I think it's a perfect opportunity for Diop to try and break through because Ogbonna's aging. As much as I love Ogbonna and as much as he was a hero last season, Diop's a young player. He's not hit the ground running since his transfer, but he's still got a lot of potential, you know. And I think, especially with the games he's played this season, he's not looked awful. I think building that relationship with Zuma at the back would really work well for our defence.
I think it would, yeah. And I think at the moment they're all very good centre backs there. So it just shows for Europe and all other competitions, we can rely on them. And, you know, the more games we even give them the league and all that together, the more confidence they can get when they need to step into those sort of games. You know, for the likes of Ogbonna, you know, he might be injured and then we might need Diop to come in the league and then, you know, rotate with the likes of Dawson in Europe and, you know, keep them all match fit and all that, because you can't have a situation like, you know, United at the moment and, you know, like Eric Bailly, who could be like fourth choice centre back and he's not even getting run outs in Europe. And it's just a, you know, you need to keep the squad happy, and that's what David Moyes has done a good job of doing, you know, since he's came in, and a big part of the success we've had at the moment. But yeah, look, we're going on to that Everton game coming up now the weekend. I would have liked to go international break, you know, with at least a point just to keep ticking along, especially with the fixtures we got coming up. But, you know, with Everton, with the likes of the two strikers missing for them, and they're not on paper anyway and too brilliant. Do you see there's need to be changes in that, or do you feel like there's a reason to worry against Everton?
I think Everton are a surprising team this season. I think if they turn up, it's going to be one of the toughest games of the season for us because the form Damari Gray's been hitting before this international break is it's deadly. You got Andros Townsend, who for some reason is playing really well as well. I mean, they are missing two strikers, which is massive for our defence. But it's a case of can we capitalise on that?
Yeah, I think the same. Just reviewing like the first few games we've had this season. Like you look at the Newcastle game. You know, did they have was it two up top they had that day? Was it Maximum Wilson they put up top, or was it
I
Linton
believe it
and
was.
yeah,
I don't think Joe Linton played.
I don't think he did, you know. But we know we conceded two. I'm just thinking Leicester, they had the one up top, didn't they, with just Verdi that night? So that was the one. Palace just had one up top. And then, you know, Leeds one. Most of the teams we've actually played of this season has been the one up top. And, you know, we're looking at Everton this weekend. They're probably going to have the likes of Townsend, Gray, and probably Rondon up top. Like on paper, you think West Ham can hold out against attack like that. But as you said earlier, you know, the amount of goals we've conceded this season, that is a bit of a worry. I think the midfield is going to be very interesting because looking at Suchek, even over the international break, he just looks so leggy again. And I know this morning I saw he's ran the most in the league again this season, which, you know, is a credit and shows how good he is still. But would you, if we lose that midfield battle on Sunday, do you think that, you know, the likes of the form that the core has been in this season and Allen in there and stuff, you know, Everton could win that and just take control of the game? Do you feel like there's a need for maybe Suchek or something to be dropped or something?
I feel the same. To be fair, I think the midfield battle is probably the most important part of this game. I don't want to see Suchek dropped. I'd like to see Rice and Suchek playing in the midfield because they've got I'm gonna say experience over the likes of Crow. Noble would get overrun. I think if anyone's going to hold the midfield well, it's going to be those two. And I mean, it's like you said, it's an important game for the midfield battle. I think Fornals might be playing a little bit deeper, because of the fact that Doucouré's hitting the form he had. They're getting forward. Their midfield likes to get forward. They like to drive.
Yeah, I think that's a big one, I think. And, you know, as bad as on paper their attack is, the defence going to have to be switched on, you know, the likes of, you know, it's good at the fact that we got to keep Koufal and Antonio and stuff during the international break. You know, Rice only played one game for England and he looked okay. So, yeah, the fact, I think most of our squad has actually stayed for international break. You know, Fornals only played a few minutes. I think they'll be refreshed. And, you know, time after time last season, I remember we went, even Christmas, I remember that, you know, Chelsea we lost to, and then we drew to Southampton 0-0. And then, funny enough, it was Everton, where if we'd lost that game, I reckon we could have gone 3-out win and been down, had a few losses, put us a bit down the table. And we went to Everton, we won 1-0. So it's definitely sort of West Ham kind of game we could turn around and win this weekend. It'd be huge if we won. If we lost, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be a dent with the fixtures coming up. But I expect it to be a physical game this weekend, and as I said, the midfield battle is probably the biggest one we can have this weekend. Our attack, you're not going to score loads of goals every week, but, you know, the first two games we scored 8 goals. The last few games, you know, we scored 1 or 2 max a game, and as you said, we're creating chances. I think it's just about putting them in. And one thing I've seen this season, we've definitely looked better at decision making. And now I think it's all about just converting those chances. You know, Bowen, he's been working hard, I think, over the last 2 weeks. And, you know, Fornals is coming a better player every week, no matter where he plays for Spain or West Ham. So we've definitely got potential in the team. I think it's about putting it out on paper and see what happens from there, I think. But you know, we're not a bad team. We're not getting worse. We're the same team last year, and, you know, on paper, I think our squad's better than that Everton squad. So hopefully we can win that. And all we want is a better performance than the last one. But quickly as well, just to finish off, and well, we link these two together really, squad depth and Lingard really, because I saw a thing earlier today. I seen it like about Lingard or Belotti, and who would you like go for if you'd pick one?
Um, it's such a tough one because I think I've fallen in love with Lingard because of last season, but we've got Vlasic, we've got Lanzini, who they're two quality players at the end of the day. I think Belotti would be more important for the squad. I think Lingard would be nicer for the fans, but Belotti would be more important if we want to keep maintaining form.
Yeah, I think the same, and I've seen people saying, and I was thinking at the very first thing because I would like Lingard back, and I'm like maybe just play Lingard striker again if he needs to, or you can always put Vlasic striker or something. But it's like obviously with Bowen, it's just not the same. You literally do need a striker that is an out and out one, and you know what, Belotti, and albeit a different league, he's a striker and he's still able to put the ball in the back of the net. You know, he's got a good record there. He's not too old yet, so you could get a few years out of him, and for the price he's worth, it's not that much of a gamble, but. It would be an interesting one. I wouldn't mind any of them. And you know, looking where we were at, Noble's comments on Lingard, about you know what the routine was and all that. And you know, I didn't think he would have bad feelings about West Ham. You know, with Lingard, I didn't think he'd just hate us all of a sudden. Despite when he scored against us, I kind of felt like it. But he's still. I think it wasn't all about he just didn't want to go West Ham and he doesn't like all of a sudden in the summer. I think it was just one of those things where, you know, family circumstances, United circumstances, and it's one of those things that he dreamed of being playing for the top clubs in the world, and he wanted everything to be that. And, you know, West Ham helped him, and I don't think he'd never rule out going back to West Ham one day, but it just shows that he is a good player, and it'd be very interesting to see what happens at the end of the summer now. If he doesn't sign that contract, you know, he could be a free agent, maybe get Belotti and Lingard. So the door is opened on him, but, you know, it's going to be very hard to replace the likes of Lingard. I never thought I'd say that, but what we saw from him last year was just Vlasic is going to have to work so hard to even be on that level. But look, there's still time with Vlasic. I hope to see more and more of him as we go, because he's one of those players. If we play him and he plays good, it's like, oh, you know what, that's brilliant. Now he's a good player for us. And I'm not being bad this way, but if we played him and then let's say he got injured, not bad injury, but just small injury in a match, he's out for a few weeks, I wouldn't be like happy in a bad way, but like I wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's awful for us, because as bad as squad depth it is, he hasn't done anything really so far for us, so I wouldn't be too bad about it. But that's look, as I said, we've spoken about the depth, we've spoken about Lingard, the Everton Brentford games. Anything else you want to say on West Ham before we move on to one more thing?
I just, as I always say, take the chances. It's all we've got to do. I think
Yeah,
Bowen's finally hit the back of the net, which I think will encourage him to score a lot more. I think, especially the way he ended last season. He's going to be getting goals this season.
yeah, I think it's his season to even looking at the England squad, because like you've seen he was decent last season, and you're looking at players, even Sancho in the England squad. I just didn't realise what that was all about, especially because he didn't even play over the international break. But look, I think, yeah, you said finishing chances, decision making, keep going with that. You know, stay tight at the back, all that sort of stuff, and we can just keep kicking on. You know, our points this season against the teams that we've played this season compared to the ones when we played them last season have been pretty much the same anyway. You know, we got the points against Newcastle this season that we didn't get last season. We lost to a promoted team this season, but like we didn't exactly win against Fulham away last season either. So you'll get points dropped along the way. It's about how you react. And as I was saying yesterday, like it's about this season in the league. Once we don't get relegated, I wouldn't mind having a run in Europe over this, because the Premier League this season is about testing where we're at now. We know where we finished last season. We qualified for something we aim for. Now the Europa League is something we're going to use that in while experimenting in the Prem, but still winning in the Prem, if you get me. But one more thing I'm going to put up there as well. Do I add this on the phone? I think it might be up. It might be just lagging. The England game over the first two games. Not if you watch much of them, but the Andorra game. What Andy was the Hungary game. What would you say? Not being English myself now, but you know I still follow interest in that and all that. But what would you say your biggest thoughts over the two games were, especially the Hungary game?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't watch the Andorra game because I was working, but you know we came out on top on that. The Hungary game, we didn't look good enough at all. I mean, there was a very harsh penalty against us.
Yeah,
But I think it was still a penalty. I think not much can be done, but he's chosen to raise his foot, so it is a penalty. I think Kane, again, he just looks really, really shy. He doesn't look like the player Harry Kane is. Since the Euros, he's just not looked himself. And I think that's what England are missing. They're missing someone that can hit the back of the net.
I think it is. I think the chances the other day they were having, I know Sterling annoyed me, because every time I see Sterling, I look at a player, and I remember him at Liverpool a few years ago, and he just looked so exciting that was going to he basically looked like Messi when he was there, I'm not even lying. And then now he just looks like he's half the player he was, and he just, not that he lacks confidence, but he just lacks the end product. I feel like he's a smaller, better version of Yarmolenko. I'm not even lying. The step overs, little pass into the box, he just does something better, but I don't see the end product with him. Grealish is good. Foden. I just think if you've got a good striker, and it's mad to say it because Kane literally starts for England, but a goal scoring on form striker, then it's different gravy. But I think the manager as well the other day, that the tactics, he reminds me of Ole at United. He just doesn't have the tactics, and as much as he's done well with England, you say the same Ole at United. As much as he's done well at United, you need someone to take that next step and grab the squad by the balls and say I'm going to win this tournament and do that. But look, I started bringing it up anyway for England the other day. Another international break over. Only one more to go in a few weeks, and I think it's maybe a right time for West Ham just to refresh the squad and go again. But yeah, that's all we really have to bring up today. We got a busy few weeks coming up again. Europa League as well. Looking forward to that. Some big Premier League games, and as I said, test the squad and see how far we can go with it. But predictions before we go for the Everton game on Sunday, what would you say about that?
I could see it being. I could see it 3-1 to us, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be one of those tournaments. I don't think it'll be a lot of goals. We could just turn up and just bang them in, and then it'll be like a high-scoring game. I'm gonna say 2-1 Everton, just because I don't know. I'm staying risky. I think they'll just have the crowd behind them. But if we turn up, it'll be definitely a different game. I just feel like we mightn't, because after international break, some players might be tired. But you'd expect a response from us anyway, so that's the main thing. But yeah, look, when I speak to you next, hopefully we'll just be talking about win or draw, I'll take. But yeah, thanks for coming on again, Tom. And
Thanks for having me, man.
all we can say. No matter. Oh yeah, that's all. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if anyone does watch this, do appreciate it. And we'll be back hopefully next week for more and post-match reaction over the weekend as well. There'll be no watch long, but there will be post-match reaction. So take care, guys, and thanks for coming on again, Tom.